subscribe to our channel to keep up with all the latest from Simpin After Dark and everything else at Wild 7 Studios. Welcome back, everyone, to Simpin After Dark. It's your girl, Ashley Mendoza, as always, back for season 4 opener. This is technically episode 2 because I did drop a Father's Day episode last month. I wanted it to be episode 0, but, technical difficulties. This is episode 2 now. But I'll be uploading every week from now on, and I have a special guest today.
It's your boy, Young Student Loans, back at it again.
Yes, welcome back, Young Student Loans.
Hey.
He was on an episode last season. Do you remember what it was called? I should have prepared this.
No. I remember
Me
what
either,
it was
but
about.
I will link it in the description. We kind of talked about polyamory a little bit.
Yeah.
I remember talking about Will and Jada. A bunch of random shit. It was fun. But today we're going to be talking about dating apps.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking an artist that I have been really excited about lately. Her name is Jenevieve. The song we're going to be talking about is Baby Powder. She dropped it last year, March 2020, and just kind of has been dropping singles here and there, a few. I know she's working on an album, but very mysterious, that whole mysterious vibe where you're dropping a bop, like a fucking major bop, and then just disappear and then drop another one, drop a music video, building up. I like it. I like the marketing. Did you get a chance to listen to it?
This time, no. I wanted to be surprised on air.
Okay.
On camera.
It's a fucking vibe. It's so good. It's super vibey, a little funky, neo-soul-y. It's really good. I like it. But yeah, so dating apps and Jenevieve. Let's play a clip of this song before we get into anything else.
Okay.
Okay. What do you think?
That's a vibe,
You
for
like
sure.
it? It's good, right? Yeah, she actually dropped a song called Medallion right before that, which is actually really fucking good too. I still kind of like those two songs better than I think she's dropped 2 singles since then.
Mm-hmm.
These first 2, especially Baby Powder, are my favorite though. But yeah, it's basically about and the reason I picked this song for this episode about dating apps is because it's about kind of feeling a way about someone and then realizing that they're fucking fake. And it just turns everything dry as fuck. Like, they made you high, and then now they got you dry. Fuck you. I don't like you no more.
Oh, no, man.
Basically. I think anyone can relate to that, especially on dating apps, I'm sure. It's hard. I can't even speak for everybody because I am not a very big dating app user. Yeah. But when I did use it one time, I met up with one dude. He ended up being a little loony. We met up, had a chill time. And honestly, it reminds me of 500 Days of Summer where he kind of just got hooked on me because we had the same music taste.
Yeah.
Where a dude has never met a girl with good music taste and he thinks you're just puts you on a pedestal,
What was the song that got him?
I don't even remember. Honestly, I don't. It was 5-6 years ago, and I never went back to dating apps because I ghosted him after that because I was just over it. I'm a ghoster. I've mentioned this before. I am a ghoster. I'm a big ghoster. I know that's a little toxic, but I just feel like if we've only hung out once, I don't really owe you anything. Is that fucked up? How do you feel about ghosting?
I don't know. I've never been particularly a ghoster, but I feel like you don't owe anyone anything when it comes to hookups, but I feel like everyone's expectation always changes. Everyone has very different expectations. Yeah,
and I feel like some people think it's common courtesy. For me, I was you're a random human. I met you one time. You should get the hint. I think you should get the hint. If you are normal, take a hint. If they don't reply, they don't want you. That's it. Stop bothering them. Yeah. And also I have anxiety, social anxiety. So if a dude's just blowing me up and I don't want to talk to him, it makes it worse. I will block them, whatever it is. But he literally hit me up 6 months later and was you missed out. I got free tickets to Coachella and I would have brought you and it would have been a great time, but you fucked it up. I was like, what the fuck? I literally forgot about you, bro. What the fuck? So that's my experience with dating apps. And it's like fun because you meet someone at first and then like they turn crazy. I don't know.
I hate the thing about when you meet up with someone, whether it's dating apps or whatever, and you meet like one time, and in their mind, y'all are dating. And like that's why I got PTS from the term dating. I would say we are hanging out.
People don't know how to date anymore.
I mean, it's a wild world out there.
Yeah, I don't know. My mom even always would tell me like, oh, you need to like date, like blah, blah, blah. Because I'm very much a person that's like, I'm just single. And then I meet someone I like and then we're together. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's a good thing either. I'm not saying it is or isn't. But she was like.
Habitually monogamous.
Maybe. Oh, is that the term for it?
That is people who are just habitually monogamous.
Like you go like space. Like
yeah, I've definitely like hung out with like girls before. And they'd be like, yo, I'm just kind of vibing right now. But unfortunately, like, you know, I'm habitually monogamous. So, like, I probably always wind up in a relationship. And they, like, talk about those things, like, while we're, like, hanging out. I'm just like, well, all right. Well,
so there's, like, serial monogamous. That's, like, where you're, like, back to back. And then habitually is, like, where you go, like, just spaces in between where you're, like, I'm single for a minute. And then I'm just, like.
Or just, like, it will always end up at monogamy. Like, they will try something new.
God damn it. Yeah. That's me.
Yeah, I know. Like, yeah, I've definitely met people who be like, oh, yeah, like, poly doesn't bother me. I'm open. I'm trying to do things. And then it's like, actually, I kind of want to turn this into something.
I feel like that's exactly what I would do. Like, if I was ever single again, I'd be like, I'm down to, like, explore. And then I just fucking fall in love. But it's not like I fall in love with anyone. But it's like, if I don't like you immediately, I'll ghost you.
Yeah.
And then I'll move on to somebody. And then I'm obsessed. And I'm like, yes, relationship. And then it's like 4 years later.
Be mine forever.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's hard to think everyone has their own dating styles. But like the song Baby Powder, it's very easy to be turned off by someone once you meet them and like their true colors show. For this song specifically, she gets turned off because he's like a fucking liar. So she catches him just like being fake and hiding secrets. And like for her, the vibe I get is that she has like very hard boundaries. And she's just like, I don't got no time to play with these red flags. Like, one flag and I'm fucking out. Like, you grossed me out. I aspire to be this way. I think everyone should be this way. How are you with red flags?
I don't know. Like, it's weird. Like, I think what are my red flags are sometimes things people are looking for, like in monogamous relationships. And, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like normal red flags, like someone being chaotic or being, like, a Scorpio.
A Scorpio? Do you discriminate just based on Scorpio?
No, it's because the thing is, like, I'm an Aquarius, and Aquarius and Scorpios are never supposed to, like, get along because we're supposed to be so... Because, like, Aquarius is supposed to be, like, attached to multiple things, but about passion, but also be, like, non-emotional. While Scorpios are very much, like, one thing, lots of passion, and they need that and are very emotional.
Oh, I do remember talking about that on that last episode that you were on. And, yeah, I feel that. I think... for Virgos, it's Gemini. That's like the mortal enemy. Yeah. Like it's not going to work out type thing. Yeah. Like, so that's Aquarius and
Scorpios. And usually like the main thing we link on is just sex. Like, that's the only thing we link on. And the thing is like, I'm attracted towards the chaos. I see the chaos happening.
So then is it easier for you to like dismiss red flags kind of?
No, I mean, I walk towards that. Like, I see it. That's what I'm saying. Those are not red flags for me. Those are just things, like, I'm intrigued by.
Like, it's a red flag, but it's, like, a cute red flag.
I don't know. Red flags for me are, like, people who habitually like being attached to people, codependency, things like that. Or people who have, like, a detailed list of, like, explicit expectations. Because then, like, a lot of their relationships seem, like, job interviews and things like that, and it doesn't really come off as organic. Those are like a lot of red flags. I mean, I could talk about those are like levels of personality red flags. There's also like the catfishing red flags where someone is trying to like hide what they really look like with ambiguous photos, a lot of filters.
Oh, like physically,
yes.
Yeah, yes. Physically, yeah. It's hard. There's literally people that just like only post pictures with filters.
Yes. And
it's so hard to like not want to post a picture,
man,
with a filter, like without a filter. Yeah. But like you have to. Like for me, I kind of like I won't post a picture on like my main grid on Instagram, like with a filter on.
Yeah.
But like on my stories, it's like fair game. But that's like my balance for me. Because some people, like, literally, like, their grid, like, you don't literally know what they look like at all. Yes. And that's kind of scary because some of these filters are, like, really, like, not natural looking, but, like, you can't tell it's a filter.
Yeah. I've, man, on my IG story, I posted one time, hey, if you ever send me a picture, please don't send it with a filter. I'd rather see what you look like.
Exactly.
So many people got upset.
Really?
Yeah. Because a lot of people were like, I send you pictures all the time with filters. And I was like, because, like, I think people... What I kind of had to understand is like the same thing telling like a girl not to wear makeup. It'd be like, oh, you look cute.
Oh, and like first date we going swimming type vibes. No. We've all heard that. No, I feel you though. Cause yeah, like if you've never met them in person, then like don't be sending me no pictures with a filter.
Yeah. But I mean, I had to understand, respect someone's agency. Like if you choose to use a filter, you have an idea about yourself. If you choose to wear makeup, I completely understand. For me personally, don't have to impress me. I want to see you naturally. Mm-hmm. I prefer that.
Okay. Damn. Yeah. Everyone's different, but I definitely agree. Like you should have some pictures on your social or like, especially on a dating app of you without a filter.
What are your red flags? Not just for dating apps, but
red flags.
I feel like just for the modern times, just because a lot of times I've ended up hooking up or hanging out with people have been through IG. So I kind of view IG as like its own dating app. So, like, what are your red flags from IG to dating apps?
Ooh, bios, I guess, sometimes, which I think sometimes it's, like, easier to spot, like, a fucking bio that you hate on, like, a dating app, because I feel like they let you type, like, a paragraph versus, like, on Instagram, it's, like, a little short thing. But, or, like, with profile pictures, like, if it's a dude with, like, a fucking fish, like, fishing or hunting or, like, all that. Like the camo, like I like camo, but not like if you're hunting. I like camo for aesthetics, not for like actually what it's supposed to be for. So that's a huge red flag for me. Dudes that like make anything like physical about themselves, like a personality trait. Yeah. Like this beard connects and it's come ride my face. This beard, I'm 6 foot, like 6 foot over here. Or like I'm so buff. Like if you make anything physically about yourself like your main thing that you're trying to catch people with, it grosses me out. I'm like, you're fucking weird. I could not. Yeah, I could go on.
Oh, those
people that are into 5Ks. Personally, just because that doesn't match my lifestyle. Yeah. Anything that doesn't agree with my lifestyle is a red flag for me. Just because I'm like, you could find someone else. And there's dudes that try to make it work and are like, well, I mean, it could still work, or like I could like teach you, and I'm like, I don't want to know, I don't want to learn that. That's not me.
Yeah, I feel like that's a lot of the issues. Like at least monogamous dating is just like instead of people just kind of finding what they like, they will kind of get some of the things and be like, oh, I can learn or whatever, and try to and then they end up wasting a lot of time and being like very unhappy or holding resentment and
because like you feel like they changed you or you can't be yourself without like ruining things. But like that's why like some dating apps are like hard because you're trying really hard to like appeal to someone. Yeah. Versus like Instagram could still be like a dating app, but it's like you could just kind of be yourself, and if somebody finds your profile and they like it, it's more organic, I guess. Like even just I remember like having to type out my bio when I did have Tinder. I was like, everything I could think of sounds so fucking corny. Yeah. Like, what do you say?
I hate bios.
It's so awkward. Like, even if you have something quirky, it's like you had to sit there and think of something quirky. Like, then I just picture you sitting there trying to think of something quirky and being like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, the bio thing's weird because depending on what you type, it attracts certain people. Because, well, one is like a 2-stage thing. Most people are just swiping, going through pictures. So if they don't, if they're not even interested in your picture, they won't even read the bio. But then if they're interested in your aesthetic, then they try to read the bio, or they might not even care. Some people don't even care.
Oh yeah, there's guys or like girls that will just see like a picture of something they like and not even care what that says. Like they're just down for you physically.
Yeah, I've had to deal with that before. Someone just swipe and I'd be like talking to them, like, oh yeah, blah blah blah, poly. They'd be like, oh really? I was like, yeah, in the bio. Like that's
you didn't fucking read.
I was like, oh yeah, I didn't see that.
The ingredients. Like what? Like
yeah. I mean that's why like certain dating apps have tried to like change how you match, because like as I'm bringing up like app like Hinge's whole thing is that like And instead of just kind of vaguely choosing that you like someone's profile, you like a particular thing, like a quote or a picture of the person, or which particular picture. Oh. So there's like context. So like if you have like 5 pictures and one of them is you on a boat doing something goofy and they like that, you know the context of what made them like it or whatever.
That's a good explanation, because I was actually trying to like go through like what's the difference between like Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge. So I guess we could kind of talk about that. We'll start with Hinge. So I was kind of confused because it was just saying it's basically just like you upload whatever and then someone can like you based on all these things, but it didn't really like specify that it's like you can like specific things so the person knows exactly what it is you like about them. So that's basically what it is. But it seems kind of like a social media platform.
No, you know what makes Hinge wow, and how I first heard about Hinge, and I won't snitch on a person. But there was a girl that was a homie, and she had a particular interest in a type of male that she liked. Let's hypothetically say it was by race. Let's say this particular like Asian men or whatever. She's like, oh yeah, you can just put down the category of only find people who identify as like being Asian or like whatever. And I was like,
you could do that?
Yeah. And I was like, what? I was like, what? An app allows you to do that? She was like, yeah, completely. You could do that. Like, what's wrong with that? Everyone has their preference. I was like, it just sounds wild to like.
Yeah. Then like kind of borders like not preference, but like racial kind of shit. Yeah, that's weird.
I was just like, yeah, you can meet like all types of people, and
you just specifically don't like a certain color.
Yeah, and I was like, I feel like that doesn't allow you to potentially meet other people. And she was like, oh, I didn't see it that way. And I was like, that's immediately. The person was also white, so of course, they might not have saw it that way. But yeah, and then she was like, you should get on Hinge. I think it would work perfectly for you. I don't know why I'm doing this worse for her because she sounds nothing.
Yeah, like you got to differentiate. But yeah, the article I was reading about like the differences, basically at the end it was like, yeah, so Hinge takes the win for the best dating app compared to Tinder and Bumble.
I mean, for Hinge to kind of figure out what someone likes about you, it definitely is better. Because let's say you write something, because you can do like a thing where you make it'll ask you a question saying, if you have to go out with someone, what would be the thing that you do at a party with them or something like that? And I think for me, I think I chose that question. I think my answer was go to a party and we give people different names that aren't our real names to just see where the night goes.
Okay.
That's something that'd be fun and interesting.
So then that just shows on your profile?
Yeah, as like a thing. So if someone likes that, that's the thing that intrigued them about you.
Yeah.
So you can at least understand that.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, so I guess the difference between like that and then like Tinder and Bumble. So Tinder is, I feel like, the standard one that like everyone goes to, like beginner, like starting stage. Like that's what I tried out. And that one's just like you swipe based on like the bio and the picture. And then if they also like you, then it's like a match, and then you could just reach out to each other. Yeah. Versus Bumble, it's kind of same thing, but it's the girl that has to make the first move within 24 hours or the match disappears. And then the dude has 24 hours to respond or the match disappears. And I heard that it was like basically to prevent ghosting.
Is that the reason?
That's what the article that I like read about it. I read one article, so it could be false. I mean, I think it's kind of just pressure you to just, it's basically to like probably increase the chances of meeting someone. Because if you're not responding, it's like you're not even going to meet up or talk.
I would say I am the worst at matching people historically on Tinder and then messaging them immediately afterwards. There's definitely people I've matched like months ago and have not said messages to them.
I don't know. It's different, I guess, because also, there's so many things I want to say, but then it like relates to like some of these submitted stories. So I asked everyone on my Instagram to send me stories about their experiences on dating apps. Yeah. And based on those, I guess we'll get into some. But about the song, I kind of just wanted to talk about another thing, because there's like so many quotes you see that like girls post online, you know. And I want to get your opinion on it to see like what you think, right?
Hit me.
You know, have you ever heard girls talk about, and like the lyric that the reason I'm bringing this up is she says, basically first thing, she's like, I'm going to tell you the truth, not like these girls on the loose. I'll put up with you, babe. There's some things I won't take. Baby, don't feed me false. Yeah, that turns me off. If I ask, would you say, want to be the last girl up in your place? Basically just talking about, you know, first line, I know some girls out here won't tell you shit, But I'm gonna tell you shit. So the whole like quote that goes around all the time is like, if a dude can't handle you like putting your foot down or having standards, he's gonna move on to a weaker bitch, quote unquote. Have you seen that or anything?
I've seen some quotations.
Yeah, variations of that, right?
Verbiage.
How do you feel about that? Do you agree with that? Or like partners in general, like not even women, but just like in general, like do you think men like move on from these women because they're too hard to handle, quote unquote? Or is that just something that girls say to make themselves feel better?
I feel like it's both sometimes. It's definitely if you have like strong personality and you don't want to ever take criticism from someone, it's definitely those type of people who choose to avoid criticism, so it's easier because they just let you do whatever you want to do.
It's like an ego thing.
Yeah, ego thing, but also just be how you like your relationships kind of thing. Like whether it's right or wrong, it could just be what that person likes.
Oh yeah,
and that's why always like the weird thing, because there's also like not to deal with like power dynamics between men and women all the time. There's also like women who like dudes who are making a decision for them, like that is like their thing that they like. And whether or not I agree with whether or not that should be, it's their preference.
Yeah, that's preference for sure. I agree. And like there's like screenshots I've seen of like dudes on like Reddit and shit like that, you know, the toxic areas
Dudes
of the
are the
town.
worst.
Like talking
Don't
about
go to Reddit.
yeah, talking about how like, oh, you don't want to like deal with a woman that is too opinionated, like blah blah blah. Like if she ever just like retaliates to anything that you say, drop her. She's gonna be a problem, fellas. Like, yes. She's too alpha. And that's crazy because that's people's preference. And like there's women that fall into that. It's fucking weird. Yeah. But I guess that's like the cool thing about having all these different dating apps. I don't know. Because I feel like people could still lie. It's scary. But
I mean, people are out here lying constantly.
Yeah, it's scary, like physically, like getting catfished or just like personality wise, or like, oh my God, I've had like a dude that basically he knew he liked me. So he kind of, and this is just my theory. It's not like I could prove it.
Hit me. Do.
But he just like liked very fucking specific things that he knew that I liked. And it was all things that were on social media, on my social media, that he easily could have looked up to like try to like make it seem like we're compatible, like very fucking specific, like buying a shirt of like a movie that I said I liked and like posting a romantic quote about it and be like, it's like, what? That's too fucking weird. And just shit like that. Or like buying me something and then I'm like, this is weird. And we're like, weren't even together. Like we're like barely dating. It's scary. People could stalk your shit and just fake their whole personality to try to like be compatible with you.
Yeah, it's true. It happens a lot. I have to always kind of shift through that because there's definitely people very much through IG who just kind of make it seem like they're down for whatever, or think they know me, but just be like, oh yeah, I think that's cool. Yeah, blah, blah, oh, I completely understand. Yeah, all this other stuff. But then in reality, they really are just trying to compromise or change things to like get their foot in the door. And they think once they get their foot in the door, then I can get whatever I want. And that's the stuff that usually keeps me paranoid to keep people like at a distance, just because I've been in those scenarios.
Yeah.
So much.
Because if someone's really good at being manipulative, they could.
Yeah.
They could get you. It happens. And I feel like mostly for men, like it's kind of a red flag, men that overly try to be like, I'm a feminist, I support women. Like if they're overly like that, I'm just kind of wary because I feel like you're fucking lying. And then, and like, second of all, like, even like, if like, oh, as long as he says the right things around me, okay, what happens if it's serious and you end up living together, you end up having kids, now you're at the dinner table and it's constant arguments because this is serious now. Like, you can't just like pretend, you know, like I've gone into it with like family members, like people close to me, because we don't see eye to eye, like politically or like whatever it is. And like, it's not a joke. Like find someone that you like, your ideals align politically, because if it gets serious, it's going to bother you. It's going to be a fucking constant fight that like, I'm not trying to deal with that.
I mean, just politically, like there's a lot of cultural things that I think
people take and like a lot of times that blurs like culture and politics. So it's like many things like that. So be careful. Be careful, because men will fucking lie. Well, women too.
Everybody will lie.
Yeah, everyone will lie. All right, so that's pretty much like the gist of like the song that I wanted to talk about. But everyone go check out Jenevieve, all her music. She's really fucking dope.
Yeah.
Baby Powder and Medallion are like my favorite.
Yeah.
And now I got some submitted stories.
Ooh.
All right, so somebody said, I matched with the guy on Tinder and he was really hot and we had a lot in common, so I was excited.
Ooh.
We hung out a couple times. Everything was going well, so I asked for his Insta, but he said he wasn't on social media.
That's what they be saying.
Which was kind of sus, but I just ended up letting it go, thinking maybe I just scored.
Boom.
But nope. I showed my homegirl a pic of him and she instantly recognized him from some wedding pictures from someone she followed on Insta.
Oh, no.
Turned out he definitely had social media and he had a girlfriend of 7 years. I called him out and he literally just blocked me. I'm working up the courage to tell his girlfriend, but I'm getting mixed advice on what to do, so we'll see.
Don't do that.
Oh, I've heard too many stories of shit like this where like, first of all, the dude that like, I don't have social media. First of all, it's a dream. It's a dream. Everybody wants a significant other that doesn't have social media, but it's like a fantasy.
Yeah.
They got social media. They fucking lying.
Yeah.
They lying, right? Like, I don't fucking know nobody that doesn't have social media. And every time I hear about a dude that doesn't have social media, it ends up being that he's married or some fucking weird shit like that.
Not to like go too far from a tangent connected to this, but for me, just because like I know I'm a particular person, I have a particular lifestyle and all different types of things, like things are like, so it's easier for me if I match someone through a dating app to be like, here's my IG, look at my IG,
so you know what's up,
see all the things, because we don't like those things, then we're probably not gonna click type thing. And then other people be like, oh, I actually don't have an Instagram. I've gotten that before, and I was like, what? How do you communicate with people then? Through text, on a phone, through a phone number,
Yeah, it's pros and cons, because it's like they don't have social, so that's cool, because then it's like less like temptation and worrying about them like cheating, I guess, online, even though there's still such thing as cheating in the real world.
If someone's gonna cheat,
they're gonna cheat. Yeah, I feel that. I think it's just a comforting thing of like thinking it's one less thing to worry about more than anything.
I had to get over that. You know what's crazy? I think I mentioned this last time. Like, I used to, you asked me have I ever been jealous, and I was just like, I can't think of being. But when I listened to the podcast, I was like, yeah, I definitely used to have like insecurities about stuff. But then I kind of got over it because I had to realize, like, if someone wants to do something, they want to do it. Like, I can't.
Oh yeah.
You can't stop them. It can hurt, whatever. And
that's honestly the most comforting thing you can do. Like, the best thing you can do for your insecurities and jealousy is to just like your paranoia is just realize, like, if they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it. Like, there's nothing you could do. Like, the more overbearing you are about it, like, the more sneaky they're gonna have to be about it. Yeah. It's like you're literally pushing them to be more sneaky. At least if you're like chill about it, like, they'll do it and you'll probably find out about it because they're probably gonna slip up about it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
that's scary. You said don't do it. You said don't tell your girlfriend.
So I don't know. I guess it's kind of split, and people may listen to this and be like, of course a guy will listen to him and be like, don't do it. But no, because there's a couple levels of things here. It's one, they could have whatever arrangement they have that may not be explicit to people. Or whatever. Like, they could have arrangements where she's like, you can do whatever you want to do. Don't let me find it.
But he lied about having social media.
I mean, that's a lie, but does that justify
well, then he's probably lying about, like, why not just be forward?
No, that's the truth. People are very weird about their secret, about their lifestyles in the dark.
Because then it's like you're trying to trick this person into thinking it may turn into something serious, but probably not if you're married.
No, I mean, no, that's shitty on him if that's like the expectation. Unfortunately, there's not enough context on whether or not they even made it that far. Like, if it's even like, we're because the assumption is, do you assume everyone you match on a dating app is there for a relationship? Not you, but
that's a thing too, because people look at Tinder specifically as like the app that's more geared towards like casual thing versus like maybe Bumble, because that one's like more like women take the lead. But you never know, because I know people that have got married and they met on Tinder. Yeah. So it's different for everyone, but I think the expectation, it depends. Some people literally just go on there to try to find someone to fuck.
I mean, but going back to what you said, that you've ghosted people in the past because you met them once and you felt they're not entitled for you to message them back? Do you feel someone's entitled to know everything about you if you have never even met them before?
No, I agree. Like, I would probably tell someone I don't have social media if my thing was, like, I don't want them to judge me based on my social media.
Yeah.
But, like, if you're telling them you don't have social media and then it turns out I do and I
Also,
have
I
a
am
freaking...
not defending this guy.
We're just exploring the different... Yeah. So, like, I think this dude has more malicious intent. I think he's a fucking cheater and that's just on there trying to find bitches to fuck.
Yeah. But, I mean, like, I guess the real course of action is by messaging that person, are you doing it because you're actually trying to help them or inform them on something that can be their safety? Or are you doing it just for yourself because you want to get back at them?
I think definitely usually when girls do this, it comes from a place of like sisterhood, you know? Like, well, I would want to know if it was my man on social media fucking meeting up with these girls. I would want to know. So I think it comes more from like a place of karma usually when girls are like, should I reach out? Because then it's like, if I don't, that's karma for me. And in the future, someone's not going to have my back.
I mean, no, I can see it that way. But I think that's always the thing about like, is what you're doing for the other person is selfish. Actually, it's the episode of Grownish, the last episode of Grownish. I'm not sure if you watched that show at all.
I have not.
It's like a spinoff of Blackish. Anyway, in like this episode, the main character who's a horrible person, like a horrible shitty. That's her whole character. Anyway, the person she's like dating now, she cheated. She's a person who's been chasing her for a while, and they're in their senior year of college. Anyway, one time she got him like alone in her place, and he was like, "I got a girlfriend," and she was just like, "Well, she ain't here right now." And then they ended up like hooking up, and then later on, he ended up breaking up with his partner, saying like, he's just not into it. And he didn't specifically mention the fact that like they hooked up to her because he wasn't trying to call a problem in his mind.
Yeah.
So the main character wanted to clean her conscience. So she was like, I'm going to tell her everything and whatever. And everyone else who were friends was like,
that's selfish.
Yeah. But she didn't see. She's like, I'm cleaning my plate. And so, this whole scene where she goes and says, hey, I know you may not know this, but like I'm with your man now. And I feel so bad that we had sex while he was dating you.
Bitch, fuck you, liar.
I mean, and
you just want to be able to sleep at night.
And the other girl's just like, does this entertain you? Are you glad you came here and told me this to make me
like we're already done? Like what
like,
good is that doing?
What am I gonna do with this information now?
Literally. Oh my God. No, yeah. And like that's like a whole fucking topic of just like learning to decipher when somebody's apologizing because they genuinely are sorry or because they literally can't sleep at night and they need to clear their conscience.
But what makes me not trust this dude, which kind of changes it, the whole blocking thing. If he was like, if you were being honest with yourself and the case about not talking about social media because you and your partner have an alternative lifestyle you may not be open about, all you have to do is someone message you, say, this is the reason.
Communicate that.
Yeah.
So many things are solved easily by just communicating. And like it's like so many movies like that where like the problem could be easily solved if like the main character just like said something.
Talk.
That's like the biggest like plot hole in so many movies that oh my God. Anyway,
that was a bane in my existence.
Me too. It pisses me off because I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like they literally could have just talked. All right. So someone else said, girl, I was swiping through Tinder and my worst. Yeah, go ahead.
Girl, I was swiping through Tinder and my worst nightmare happened. I saw my friend's boyfriend on there. So I obviously told her, but then her boyfriend managed to convince her that was old profile he forgot to delete when they got together and that he doesn't even have the app downloaded. And she believed him. So I just looked like the asshole. It is awkward when I see him now, but I know he's lying. He just has that sneaky, smug asshole vibe. But there's nothing I can do, unfortunately.
I'm dead. I just like you took it to another direction, and that's cool. That's cool. But girl. I like her. I like that vibe. So I feel like these stories could be connected, basically. It's just imagine.
Yo, what's wild about that? I've seen this scenario happen too many times in so many scenarios.
No.
Because the thing is like, what I've learned is sometimes when you're so deep in the thick of things, because you're like if you're in a relationship, you've been there, and you kind of need it to work, like whether it's financially, living situation,
God.
you will look at a green light and say it's blue because you need it to be blue. And
yeah, that's called survival.
Yeah. So really, when you're just like, oh man, his old profile, and he's like, oh, she's like,
and she believes him. Would you believe him? Would you? Do you believe this fella? Do you think he's lying? I think he's fucking lying.
I mean, if he wanted a better excuse, he might as well say someone is using his profile to make a fake account or something. That would have been a better excuse to say, not an old profile.
No, I think I would believe more the old profile.
Really?
Like, really hacked? Somebody fucking hacked you?
Not, you know how easy, man, it's really easy for someone to just take your profile picture and just make an account.
That's true. That happens all the time. But I think they do that more with like really like sexy, good looking people. And if it's just like some random fucking man, I'm not buying it. Like, somebody used your profile pictures.
He could be sexy and good looking. Did she send pictures?
Maybe if they're like influencers and like her man's like fucking like beautiful. But if it's like some fucking random dude with like ugly shoes and ugly hair.
Oh man, not the shoes and the hair.
Nobody's stealing his fucking picture.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Unless, I don't know, man.
No, I'm right. Like always. Just kidding. But okay, so I did some research because I had heard some things that supposedly Tinder deletes your shit if it's inactive for a certain amount of time.
I think that's true.
Yeah. So I was like, I think that's true, but let me like actually look into it before I'm like on here fucking spreading false information, you know?
Fake news.
So basically what I figured out is that apps, they push active accounts because they want like the success rate to be higher. Yeah. So if they're pushing accounts that are inactive, less success rates, therefore nobody's going to go on your fucking app. That's not beneficial for your business, whatever, you know? So it's harder to come across these inactive accounts, but it's not impossible. But when it would be possible is if it's you have swiped through all the fucking possible fucking people that are active. So that means you're fucking swiping. Like, ridiculously.
Your notes are wild. I'll let you know your notes you have written down is wild.
I'm just like, I have to like, take notes just to remind myself because it was like a lot.
It's fucking wild.
What's wild?
Check their battery usage.
Oh, yeah, I'm not there yet. Okay. So then I have some advice that, you know, it could be beneficial. It could be a little bit toxic. I came across it on toxic TikTok.
How do I find that?
It's an algorithm. It'll find you if you're toxic. Found me. I guess I'm toxic.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I'm just kidding. One of these things I found on the article, one of these was from toxic TikTok.
Gotcha.
The first one,
I believe
it's like saying basically if someone's been in a relationship for 5 years, there's no way that inactive account would be popping up, right? So what you could do is if you have your person's password, you check their battery usage and like their like storage or whatever, like wherever you check the battery usage. If it's taking up a significant amount of battery, they're using it. They're fucking lying if they said they just forgot to cancel their account. Because usually what they like to say is like, I deleted the app, but I forgot to cancel the account. That's the common excuse. Everybody, look out. Check the battery usage. If they don't use it, it should be 0. The fuck? So then, another thing you could do is go to their app, like little icon thingy, and click it, and you can check on their like the recently downloaded apps, and it'll tell you when they downloaded the app. You
can tell she only has used an iPhone in the last 4 years.
This is an iPhone thing, and many people don't know this unless.
No. I'm saying people have things outside of iPhone. So what if someone's out here wants to catch their man cheating with an Android device?
I'm so sorry.
We have nothing for them.
I'm so sorry.
Stay getting cheated on. Yeah. We can't help you.
Get an iPhone. I don't know. Like, I'm sorry, but yeah, these tips are solely for iPhone users.
We can't help you, Android people.
I'm so sorry. There has to be a way, like an Android helpline. I am so sorry.
Here's the advice. If you have an Android, date someone with an iPhone so then you can make sure if they're cheating or not.
Yes, exactly. And if you have an Android, get an iPhone. I'm just kidding. I don't want to piss off people. But anyway, somebody else.
If you're trying to cheat, get an Android.
Literally. Tell me why one time I was dating this guy and he was like, I'm thinking about getting the Android. I was like, no, you're not.
Oh, no.
You think what? And I was like, what the fuck? I'm just going to send a message and just never know if it delivers.
Absolutely.
Red flag.
That is the point.
If he has an Android, red flag. Okay? Moving on.
Oh, no. Ash, are you the type to wave someone's phone in front of their face trying to unlock it? You're like,
while they're sleeping?
Yeah.
With the hand, like the freaking ID? Yes. Actually, I just got a new laptop, and that's my favorite feature is that instead of typing in my password, I could just do my finger. It's so fucking awesome. Hello, technology. All right. So someone else, this dude said, so it was probably 8 years ago. I had a Tinder and matched with this girl. We exchanged messages back and forth. She wanted to meet up, but only at night. So I said I could pick her up and go to Starbucks. No private pictures were exchanged or conversations on the phone.
Go back. I could pick her up and go to, why are they going to Starbucks?
Because some people want to just meet for coffee versus getting drinks or dinner because it's shorter. I've heard that before. Because it's like,
Every coffee date I've ever had has been a sad.
Really?
I just.
Aw, my boyfriend, the first time we hung out, he was like, "Want to get coffee or drink?" I was like, "We can get a drink." What the fuck?
I mean, if someone says coffee, I'm like, oh, this ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, and he's like, not even a coffee drinker. He was just trying to like be nice, and I was like, "Boy, I love to drink. Let's go get a motherfucking drink."
But yeah, so it was like at night, so I was like, go to Starbucks.
Night. Maybe they're trying to make it like still like the nighttime date vibe, but.
Or maybe he was like, I don't want to know her. I don't want her to think I'm trying to fuck, even though I'm trying to fuck. So I'm going to say, let's go get coffee.
But she only wanted to meet up at night. Okay, so then he said, so I said I could pick her up and go to Starbucks. No prior pictures were exchanged or conversations on the phone, strictly based on pics from Tinder. Mm-hmm. So she sends me her address. I drive out there, and her house looks like a crack house. It's sketch as fuck. She comes out, gets in my car. First thing she says, I knew right away, it's a dude. I looked for an Adam's apple. It's there. I look at the wrist, huge. Heck no. I was so shocked. I didn't know what to do, but obviously play it off. I drove to Starbucks, which was closed. I dropped her ass off, and she says she wants to suck my ... I'm like, that's really nice of you, but no, I'm good. Leave. Shocked. Never spoke to her or him or whatever again.
First, I want to say before going into the story, there's some lace transphobic language in here.
Yeah, I know. I felt that too, but I was like,
I just want to highlight that we are very aware of this when we're reading verbatim.
The him or her, whatever.
What they were saying.
Whatever. Yeah. I know, but like I get it too at the same time. And also, I want to point out, I have an Adam's apple.
Yep. Confirmed.
Adam's apple check. I mean, I could get how it could be scary as like probably a straight guy, but I mean, luckily, like there was no violent outcome.
That's
blah blah blah.
Once I started reading the story, I was like, oh, please don't.
I know, but he went away with it. Luckily, Starbucks was closed. I don't know, and that's the thing with like the whole like trans issue is like it's like hard because like you have to ask. Do you ask? Is it okay to ask?
Well, I think I've had this conversation with several friends before about things, and I think one is a kind of an issue with how standard dating rules are based around expectations of men or women and monogamous type things.
Yeah.
And in reality, a lot of relationships are based off whether or not someone have the sexual parts that they want to have like sex with type thing. So it doesn't really even matter because you can identify man, women, or they, them, or anything outside of that and have different sexual parts. But at the end of the day, that's what people are worried about. However, we don't have a dating society that tells you to be that open to be like, oh, this is the sexual part I prefer. Would you happen to have that? Because I felt like if those type of questions were just asked directly, then people can answer them.
But then there's people that are like turned off if that wasn't like what you were born with. it's just a lot. And I don't know, like, it sucks. Like, I feel bad. Like, I love trans people. I support trans people. And I'm glad you brought that up because, like, I do want to, like, acknowledge that. Like, it's blatant, but I don't think it meant to come off as disrespectful from this person. Just kind of from, like, a straight, cis man dealing with it and being scared, you know?
Also, in this whole thing,
from somebody just being like, let me suck your dick.
I mean, but just reading this language, like, also in the case of this, like, even if someone is trans and they weren't even direct, the thing is, you can ask, and the thing is, like, also there's cases where trans people feel like they don't want to say something because it's a risk of their life, because a lot of people so it's like it's a
trans people get murdered just for coming out as trans all the time.
But if you are anybody and you feel as though that you want to ask a question, the best thing you can do is ask, but also give comfort if you're not a piece of shit, and say, hey, this just because of what my preference is, yada yada yada. Ask those questions, and then you have an honest, safe conversation.
Yeah.
And it's just because there's been more hostility towards certain groups of people versus not, which makes them not want to be honest about certain things up front, or even if it's not being honest, because there's a lot of assumptions that's happening here. I was reading it.
Yeah, it's like, do we really know?
Yeah, do you really?
Could have just been somebody with an Adam's apple. Women do have Adam's apples. I do.
Also, there's a lot of other like problematic language attached here. Like, I drove up, it was a crack house. Then they got inside the house, and then I saw Adam's apple, and I didn't know blah blah blah. It must have been out.
Yeah.
Get over yourself. What do you look like? What do you look like, sir? Actually, I don't want to say that. If this is like one of your homies, I don't want to say that. Actually, this is one of your homies. What do you look like, sir?
No, I know the person, and like, they're cool. Like, that's why I was like, I don't, like, they're really fucking sweet. That's why I'm like, no. I think it's like more of like a misinformation or like a ignorance type of thing than like, obviously, like the fact that he like went and dropped her off back home and was just like, no, thank you, you know, versus like a aggressive type of thing. Thank God, because, which you gotta fucking be careful, people. Like, it's scary. It's really scary. You gotta be careful. You don't know, like, what if the person he met up with would have been like a fucking transphobe, like abuser, you know?
Yeah, that's
God, I feel so bad.
Yeah.
All right, so this one was from you.
Oh yeah, this is
because you posted on your story as well for your followers to hit you up with their stories about dating apps.
So one story separately is like, went to hook up with a person from Field who was partnered, and her partner was there to watch, so I just went with it. That's one story.
I said, what's Field?
And I was like, Field's like an app for what's viewed as alternative lifestyles, such as polyamory, pansexualness, kinks. Definitely a lot of kinks people out there. But it's really people have different types of sexual exploration, and they could just find.
So this story seems very kink centered, right?
By far. And as I inquired more information, so essentially on like Field, just give more detail on Field, you can either you can make a profile under a fake name, because the thing is to hide your identity, because sometimes having alternative lifestyle,
that makes sense.
So if like someone and like their partner were looking for someone to have a threesome with, which is what Field is used for a lot. So a lot of people's like someone's
like to find a third or like threesome.
Well, find a third to make a threesome, or find another couple to like do couple swapping, double, whatever. But the thing is, like, maybe whatever, they're not comfortable communicating that that's their lifestyle, so they make a Field account, and it could be for like two people or one person. So a lot of times someone would say, hey, I'm looking for someone to have sexual activity. I live a very busy lifestyle. My partner lives a busy lifestyle. I just want to be honest that I'm partnered, but I would like to meet up with someone separately, yada, 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 yada. And most of the times when you're in that case, you can like connect with someone and then vibe and then go meet up. But usually it's like more clear cut. There's usually less like small talk stuff happening there, because you'd be very honest and be like, this is my expectations. Like, yo, want to have sex at this time. Let's meet up to make sure you're not crazy. Then go do the sexy time. In this case, from what the person told me, that they thought they showed up and it was just going to be like 101 at their house, and the husband wouldn't be there. Then husband was there, and then husband didn't leave.
Well, it's like, that's not cool either.
No,
right?
That is not cool.
Because that's non-consensual.
Yeah, and like the thing, that's again,
anything is cool as long as there's consent, man. Like,
yeah,
you could do all the fucking shit you could think of as long as there's consent. Once there's no consent is when it's fucking weird.
Yeah, and that's what's giving poly people a bad name. Could poly people be doing bullshit like that?
Ugh, that sucks.
It sucks. Like, he's like, yeah, I just
because I think a lot of weirdos disguise their weirdo-ness as like poly or alternative lifestyle-ness. So it's like hard to decipher between the two when like the weirdos are like taking front stage as the fucking weirdos, because that's what people talk about, obviously. Yeah. That's what travels.
I mean, yeah, they're also the ones usually like searching heavy and usually being like the great communicators. Oh yeah, they want to get your comfort, so they're always like trying to talk and like do stuff. So I felt really bad about that, but that was one of the stories, which is
damn. So they showed up, and the partner was there to watch.
Sipping coffee.
There was, what is that called? Cuckolding. And he was there, or she was there, whoever the partner was there.
That is cuckolding.
But they went through with it.
And
I hope it wasn't like just because it was like they felt forced.
I mean, I think this particular person was like,
just down.
I came here for sex. Sex is happening.
Okay, good.
Whether you're watching or not.
That's crazy. Oh my god.
But then there definitely was not like a follow-up type thing.
Yeah.
After that, I was like, yeah, well.
And like, I wonder if that's like a kink where it's like, you know, like the voyeurism, but like where they don't know that you're watching type thing.
Yeah.
So maybe it's like that type thing.
Yeah, I definitely imagine. Yeah, I definitely thought about that. 'Cause I know there's definitely voyeurism when people are watching, and there's definitely kinks where people just want to watch type thing.
But that has to be more of like a consensual thing where it's like a role playing thing. Yeah. Where you're like, I like to pretend like people don't know that I'm watching.
Yeah,
you know?
No, completely. You have to communicate that into certain instances. Like, I mean, like they go into kink play, but like, those situations you have to be like very explicit. Like, hey,
but it sounds like that was a forceful way of doing this.
Yeah, by far. No, that's a problematic way to do it.
Like that's what they like to do, and they were just like, they'll show up, and if they don't want to, they'll just leave. But it's like some people have social anxiety and they have trouble standing up for themselves. Like, you can't just do that.
Yeah, there's like all types of things there.
Yeah. Ooh. All right, next one. Moving on.
A little bit lighter of a wild story.
I like this one.
Oh, met with a guy on a first date, and he brought his corgis. All 4 exclamation mark, of which were dressed up in costumes. Names B Prince. Oh, dressed up as B Princess Alligator Hot Dog. She didn't type that, but I know she said that when she
in her head. Yes. And first of all, shout out the corgis. I fucking love them. First of all, I would be so excited if someone brought their puppies, but then I would be like, all right, that's weird.
The first thing I thought in my mind when I read this was like, that man's sex game is whack if you gotta bring all the dogs.
Yes. Okay. Yes. I kind of agree. I think we're getting somewhere. Like, my first initial reaction, because if I see corgis in costumes, I'm not gonna like be overrun by the weirdness of it. I'm gonna be like overrun by the cuteness of it.
Yeah.
You know, which is smart on a fucking weirdo's part.
Yeah. But that just means like you ain't got things to stand on your own. That you got to bring these dogs.
Which brings me to another red flag in like bios and shit like that. Dudes that make their fucking shit all about the dog. Like, I'm a dog dad. Like, this is my son. I love my dog. Yeah. Like, your whole personality is your fucking dog, bro.
And
I think you're fucking lying.
I feel bad about all the girls out there getting finessed by dudes.
Dogs.
With dogs.
With dogs.
Dogs and tea. Dudes. Dogs
with dogs.
Dudes with dogs, but dudes also being like, I drink tea. I feel so bad about those girls getting finessed. Oh, he drinks tea. He made me tea. He didn't make me drink. He made me tea. Like,
he's playing you.
Girl,
he just bought that tea.
He just bought that tea.
He bought yogi tea.
That man studied your profile, figured out what tea you like, and bought that tea.
He said, this bitch does yoga and she likes tea. I'm gonna buy some yogi tea. Yeah, so red flag. Freaking people that just make their whole personality their dogs, because I hope you have more personality than that.
They don't.
So
if you brought all 5 corgis with costumes, that is your personality.
Yeah. Do you have time for anything? You have 4 kids. You have 4 kids. That's a lot. Which is a whole nother story.
Truly time.
All right. So somebody else. So crazy thing, I meet this guy on Tinder. He was really consistent, which I loved. It started with FaceTime 24/7 and always talking.
Yo, quick question. Just I want to cut it. Just so if a person, if you were talking to someone just digitally and you wanted to FaceTime with them and they were just like, I'm just not used to FaceTime. I can't do FaceTime. Would you be weirded out by that?
Like if you wanted to FaceTime and they said I'm not used to it, that's weird.
Yeah. Would that be weird? Like if you met someone through like a digital thing and like.
Okay, no, I don't think it's weird. I think I don't like to FaceTime because I'm fucking shy. I said I have social anxiety.
I don't like the FaceTime. I don't like the video chat at all. Me either.
I mean, I love it now. Like with my boyfriend, we FaceTime all the time. Like with my friends now, like with like April and Alexa, shout out Nightshade Collective. Like if we're ever doing anything and we have to like talk, it's like, I'll FaceTime you guys. I'm going to Home Depot. Let's see if these things work. Like blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I love FaceTiming with people that I'm comfortable FaceTiming with.
Yeah.
A stranger? No.
Yeah. I never knew when the transition happened to where it was expected that if you met someone through an app or digitally, they like want to like just video, like whip beyond.
Maybe it's like a pandemic thing.
I mean, definitely was a pandemic thing, but the first time it ever happened to me, someone mentioned, like, oh, you want to FaceTime or, because that's what the whole Snapchat, this video chat, Snapchat type stuff. And I was like, I'm sending you pictures of me doing stuff. It's just like weird. It's like, I don't know you. What am I going to talk to you over a video chat for?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I get wanting to FaceTime if you're like a extrovert. I get it.
Sorry, that just sounded wild to me. To talk to someone 24/7. I was like, y'all ain't got nothing.
Well, they clearly were both fucking extroverts. Because for me, I'm not really comfortable with FaceTiming somebody I've never hung out with before. Yeah. Or even after one time I hang out. 2 times. Like, it takes me a minute. I'm a Virgo. I need time. I need fucking time. My astrology people can agree, I know.
And I'm Aquarius. I ain't got time for nothing.
He ain't got time. Never. He don't want to. No time. And my face looks like an egg. Some angles. And I'm just like, I don't want them to see me like that.
Oh, eggy face. Oh.
It's insecurity.
Oh.
So anyway, it started with FaceTime 24/7 and always talking. The day we met up was a bit nerve-wracking. He ended up getting us a hotel, connected on deeper level, had some great sex. I just couldn't let that go. And here we are a year and a half later, are still dating.
Aww.
I love that. I love good.
This is some simp shit. Okay.
I love some sim shit. This is Simpin After Dark. Yes. I love to end on those notes always. But gotta point out, FaceTiming, I get it. Because I've had people that were like weirded out with people that didn't want to FaceTime. But it's hard. Not everyone's into that. It's very like extroverted type of personality thing. I don't know. Like, it's not for me, especially if I don't know you. Yo, I gotta fucking know you.
Yo, the wildest thing, speaking of FaceTime video chat. Yeah, during quarantine, like last year, I just remember going through looking at profiles of just like, hey, definitely can't meet up with you during the pandemic, but maybe we can like FaceTime and video chat for all over the quarantine. And then maybe when the quarantine ends, we can meet each other. I was like, you out your fucking mind.
And it sucks because that's a reasonable thing to do, but it just doesn't sit well with everyone. I wouldn't do it.
Out your fucking mind.
But it makes sense. It does make sense.
There's people who haven't called their mother in months. What makes you think they're gonna FaceTime you during the whole year of pandemic until y'all finally meet?
Yeah.
Just being honest.
Yeah.
Love y'all.
I don't know. I get it though. Because like people like, it's like if you're trying to get past the catfishing situation, because why talk to somebody without even knowing what they imagine just going back and forth online without video for months. And then
I know, but I'm saying
at least FaceTime you get past that.
But I guess my mind is just like, if you're trying to build this I just cannot imagine building such a bond with someone over like 6 months FaceTiming and talking all the time just to wait 6 months just to physically like see them, just when I have never, because so many things can change. Because
do you think it can change? Like meeting, like talking FaceTime and then in person, like there's something that will just turn you off completely?
Yeah, because someone can like, people change when they can have their controlled space all the time. That's why certain people are really good at talking over apps, but really bad at talking in person.
Yeah, I get it. That makes sense.
Sure. I know for me, I'm definitely a person. You get more of me meeting in person versus over an app because I just don't like small talk, and I hate having conversations that don't mean anything.
I agree. And no, I'm 100% the same. Like, small talk, kill me. Like, I don't want to do it. I'd rather, and like, I think that's my problem on like why I like to just get drunk with people, because it forces me to come out of my shell.
Yeah.
And like,
Same.
that's honestly how I get to know people. And like, that's how I know when people are for me. Like, when I meet girls and we just get drunk together and have a good time, I'm like, I fucking like you. And then like, we just hang out, and I'm like, we end up being friends for fucking ever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some people are good being sober and just being social one-on-one.
Just raw dog in life.
They just raw dog life. That's wild.
That is wild. Wow.
I aspire to raw dog life one day.
I know I will never raw dog life.
One day. I just saw this tweet. This girl was like, damn, I like just went to therapy and finally got officially diagnosed for ADHD. And they gave me freaking medication. I got freaking so much work done in 3 hours, and I can't believe I've just been raw dogging life. I memorized that tweet, and I wish I could remember who said it so I could credit them, because on Simpin After Dark, I talk about tweets.
Yeah.
I would credit her. But I feel like there's so many similar sentiments, you know? And I agree.
Oh, man. Yeah, quick thing. I would not turn into a long tangent. Yeah, I've definitely met people through, like, dating apps, and they're just like, let's meet up. And they're just like, well, I don't drink. We're completely sober. And I'm just like,
Bye.
I'm just used to meeting people in an environment of bars, just getting a drink. So meeting up for, like, coffee dates. And then I'm just so used. I'm just like, what do we even talk about here?
So are you willing to meet up with people that are sober?
I mean, I have.
You have?
No, I have.
Like, you don't think it would interrupt, like, your lifestyle or be, like, a problem?
Well, not for these cases, just because
you're trying to just fuck.
No, yes. This is exclusively about fucking. And it's communicated. Like, it's thing. But the thing is, like, for me, how I am when it comes to, like, if we're just talking, we're just talking. Like, if we're vibing and doing some friendly stuff, is whatever. But there has to be, like, a switch over to, like, where I'm, like, clear, this is where we're going. Yeah. So, like, you don't initiate, like, clearly this is where we're going, and we're just meandering, talking. I'll just vibe and talk. And just over coffee, I'm just like, oh, we're just hanging out. And I'm just like, okay. I'm just not picking up.
Wait, even if you met them on a dating app?
Yeah, because
like, they're not, like, flirty enough or forward enough or what?
No, it's clear over text, but people change how they behave in real life. Like, a lot of people talk like a lot of hot shit over text. Then when you meet them in person, it's like, oh.
Ooh, that's the awkwardest shit.
And then like just because like I'm like a taller like builder like person, also being a male, like I don't want to come off as being like aggressive. So like I want to like have a conversation. So if you don't seem like this is still the thing you want to do, I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Which that's one of my red flags is people that are overly sexual too early on in the interactions.
Yeah. Oh no.
I'm traumatized.
Oh no.
One time.
Yeah.
So like I used to like work with someone. It was like a coworker. You know how like at work there's always like a cute person, whatever. It's like even if they're the ugliest person, they're like the cutest person there. Am I tripping? Okay. Fuck you. I'm not really saying they're ugly, but like it's kind of just like an entertainment thing, like finding the cutest person in the environment if you have to be there all the time.
Yeah, no.
Right?
I know.
Okay, thank you.
I know that.
Okay, so it was like one of those things, and like he was cute, whatever. But I had a boyfriend at the time, so then he like ended up hitting me up like years later. He didn't work there anymore. And I always thought he was cute, but, like, I'm not, like, a fucking cheater, so I never said anything. So he hit me up.
Good for
He's
you.
like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, blah. And he's like, yeah, I always thought you were cute. And I was like, yeah, you're cute too. But, like, I had a boyfriend, like, you know. And he's like, oh, my God, you thought I was cute too? I can't believe it. Now I'm just thinking back to all the times. And, like, I just would stare at you. And, like, now I just wish I could just, like, kiss your body up and down and, like, lick you everywhere, every inch of your body. I was like, oh, what the fuck, bro? Oh, my fucking God. Like, what is wrong with people? Like, why would you take it that far? This was going so well. And he was just like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to push you away. I just, like, have no game. And I, like, don't get bitches. So I just really wanted to let you know. Like, and I was just like, oh, my God. He's like, can we just hang out and, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, we could just, like, go see, like, a view, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I don't think I wrote back. Ghosted. Of course I did. I'm a ghoster. I ghosted him. Which brings me brings me to another fucking problem I have with dating apps with with a friend that hit me up about her story talking about her experience with dating apps and why she's like done with them is because she matched with this dude and he was like, we should just go see a view. She's like, what you want to do? He was like, we should just go see a view, like sunset, like somewhere, like, you know, remote. She's like, why in the motherfuck would you think I'm going to meet up with you, a strange man, at a remote location?
To be murdered
at sunset,
cliff. Yeah,
bitch.
Have you seen Mulholland Drive?
I actually haven't, and it's on my watch list. But I'm excited to watch it. But yeah, so she was just like, what the hell? I think she wrote back and she was like, I'm not an easy date like that, but okay. And I don't know what happened after that, but I was cracking up because, like, you got to be so out of touch as a man to, like, try to get a girl to a remote location the first time you ever hung out with her. What's wrong with you?
I mean, going back to what I said, that's why, because I had to become aware of, like, physically how I can be presented. I'm just like, I don't want there to be any assumptions or concerns. That's
like, you're tall.
Yeah. Just like in general, like built a certain way. I'm just like, don't want you to feel like
like a freaking smaller woman or just a woman in general. Just because like men are stronger in general. Like they are going to want to meet up at a public place somewhere where like if shit goes wrong, like they have an out.
Or like, but even in these cases, these seem like cases where people are just meeting up on dates to possibly date each other. And if you're in a space where like you're communicating like, this is definitely just to hook up, then you definitely like, there's a safe space for like women. Like, yes, I want to fuck you. However, I want to make sure you're not crazy. So
we're not fucking desolate.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think just sometimes it's more to do
with
Starbucks.
I get it now.
Starbucks.
I get it now.
Yes. So I think more of it is just like, sometimes the men don't know these things. So when they like say like, let's go see the sunset at a like cliff, in their head they're like, oh, so romantic. In the woman's head they're like, oh hell no, he trying to murder me. Like, what? It's such a disconnect. It's a disconnect. That's He's basically what it is. Yes, that's all it is. All right.
Also, to the Starbucks comment, you think that Starbucks was inside of a Ralph's?
What? There is Starbucks inside Ralph's, right? Yeah. And like Albertsons, all those stores.
Yeah, the grocery store.
Don't go to those. Like, go to regular Starbucks at least with like a patio.
No, think about someone taking someone to a Starbucks inside of a grocery store.
I just wouldn't go inside.
It's like, what?
I would drive away.
Just keep going. You'd be like, hey, I'm looking for the Starbucks.
It's like Starbucks to the left, and it's like Albertsons. I'm like, no, hell no. And I just would drive away.
Ash, the ghost of Christmas past.
Hey, that's me. So, okay, this is the last one. So this guy said, shortly before my bro got married, I was hitting up girls to get a vibe and go out. I got passed on by one girl. After the engagement party, we all hung out at a father-in-law's spot for extended family. Guess who was there? So I was like, what do you mean passed on? Basically, they matched, and then she disappeared from his matches. Mm-hmm. So either she unmatched him or blocked him. But anyway, he ended up running into her. He was like, she's familiar.
But was she the wife?
No, she wasn't. It was okay. But imagine seeing someone that you match with and then they unmatch you and you run into them in real life at a party, like a mutuals party. Awkward.
That's happened before.
The house?
Yeah.
And that's what I feel with social, LA
is small. LA is small.
Yes, everything in general is a small world. Like, I've heard too many stories about people matching with people they went to fucking, like, elementary school with or high school with. The only way I could consider a dating app these days is if I move to a completely different city. Like, if you're doing a Tinder dating app in, like, your hometown, why?
Because you're trying to hook up with someone while you're...
Someone you went to second grade with?
Yeah, while you're there temporarily.
No, you live there.
Oh, you're talking about the people who live...
yeah, people that, like, live in their town and never left. And
I don't know. Maybe you want to secretly hook up and you don't want the townspeople to see you outside.
And like, I can get
the
like...
townspeople.
I don't know if the townspeople. I can get the intriguingness of it. I know that's not a word.
I know, like, it's like a curiosity because, like, sometimes...
Yeah, curiosity of it.
Yeah, how did people turn out? I get that all the time.
It's intriguing, right? basically.
All the people I was attracted to in elementary school are now ugly. It was a horrible.
It's weird. It's definitely something you want to look into because it's like, what do they look like? But
I was so great.
Actually wanting to date them, no.
I got made fun of in elementary school all the time for having a weird face.
For having a weird face?
Having a weird face.
That's mean.
Yeah. And then I got older, like looking, oh, well, I'm vibing.
Did you actually have a weird face?
I still think I have a weird face.
You don't have a weird face.
I think I have.
I could picture you, like your baby face and it's just shrunken. It's just like a cute little baby face.
No, I feel like definitely for people like cheekbones or have like whatever. I feel like definitely back, just earlier on that was not like super pop. I feel like softer faces or just particular faces. I didn't have like a jawline at all back then, so.
You were just like freaking like, what is that one Squidward when he's like all like chiseled Squidward? Handsome Squidward, like as a baby.
I just remember having like, why your face so weird?
Oh, kids are rude. Well, I hope you beat all of them up.
Yeah. Yo, that reminded me though about the whole meetings one. One time, in Silver Lake, actually I won't say the person's name, but in Silver Lake, I was with a homie who is actively on Field, or has been actively on Field in the past. I won't say now, the Field app. Anyway, so we were just getting a drink, like me, him, and another person, and there was like a party at this bar. I won't say what the party is, just in case someone goes there and knows the bar. But he was like, I think that's one of the girls I hooked up with on Field, who he knew was like partnered at the time. So then he got up and she was like, oh, this is so-and-so. He was like, oh, hey. Then he said, hey. And he was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the husband that was there at the party next door.
Oh,
like,
no.
And I was like, was it awkward? He's like, oh, no, I mean, like, they said they opened or whatever. And I was like, oh, well, got to keep it pushing.
It's like as long as you're honest, like shit will run smooth. That's the problem. It's not everyone is honest. So we just got through all the stories that were submitted by people on Instagram that I asked about their experiences with dating apps, basically.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to talk about bios and stuff to avoid, but we kind of covered that already. Let me see if there's anything I didn't. Oh, alpha male. Alpha versus beta. That whole fucking deal. Avoid men like that. Mm-hmm. If they refer to women as females. If they flash their money or try too hard to seem fucking rich.
All these females. You know how females be, man.
Oh, yes, exactly. I think I talked about overly sexual immediately after you start talking. If they ask for a pic, as soon as you start talking, like, send me a pic. Even because, like, it's thing? Like, yes, because it's weird because, like, you don't know if they mean, like, a nude or not. And, like, they probably do, but they want to see what you send, but they're not being specific enough on purpose. That way they could deny it if you call them out.
Like being vague, but
yeah, like send me a pic.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing, dudes.
Dudes do that, and it's like, I feel weird. Like I just met you. I'm not sending you a pic, okay?
I guess I'm less paranoid. I don't know. I guess I'm less paranoid. I'm just like, I'll see what you look like when I see you in person.
No, and it's because when dudes ask like, oh, let me see a pic, it's usually because they mean a nude. They want to see what they could get away with.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's usually what it is. And then what we talked about was
gaslighting playbook.
Exactly. Okay. It's more of like teetering the sneaky lines. Yeah. And then asking to meet up at deserted locations. Okay. So now we got to talk about your experiences with dating apps.
Okay.
In general. How do you feel about them?
Oh, that's fun.
They're fun? You feel like they serve their purpose?
Oh, I mean, dating apps are weird, as we've talked about. I think particularly for me, I just know I'm a particular person. So like the type of people I connect with varies. A lot of time, at least for like Tinder, and when I was using that, unfortunately, I was definitely the type of person who would just swipe while driving in traffic to like pass time.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No attention.
It's just the thing is driving.
So it was more of like a physical thing.
It's like it's definitely just because like I knew I wasn't actively looking for a relationship, but I was
so you don't care.
I care less than like some people in cases, and I'd be explicit about that when talking to people. So usually it'd be at the beginning part of when I moved to LA, it was a lot of like me having extended conversations with people for like periods of time. I can talk about a couple stories through these apps. Like I think like one of the first, actually, I got a couple of different stories about Tinder, like quick ones.
Tell us.
I have one story where on Tinder I matched a girl, and then like we were supposed to meet up, and then like instead of like meeting up somewhere, I was just like, I just moved here, so a bunch of friends, music friends, like always invite me to events. So it's just, yo, going to this event with the homies, blah blah blah. If you want to come, yada yada yada. And then like she just like drove like straight to like my house to like meet up with me like in the homies or whatever. And then like, but like all her stuff, I guess that she lived with was just in her car, and she was just like, oh, I'm moving recently and all this other stuff. And then like, and I was like, I didn't think about it like that, because I was like a Los Angeles like fresh fish. I didn't know like all these expectations or whatever. But anyway, even during that night, she ended up like bonding with the homie more. So I was like, y'all should hook up more.
Let it be.
I pretty much just let it be, and then they had like a whole thing, and then later I found out like, yeah, she was like homeless for a period of time or like whatever, because he started like fucking with her or whatever. And I was like, well, glad I dodged that bullet.
Yeah,
have fun with that. That was one of the first early Tinder.
That could happen.
Can happen. There's other story. Actually, no, I can't talk about that.
What was the one you were telling me about before we started recording? With that girl that had like a list.
Oh yeah, that was from Hinge. So like, on Hinge, I met this person, and we were talking, and it was like cool. And then during it, the person was like, "Oh yeah, just want to let you know, I started seeing someone." That's what I started seeing someone. I was like, "Cool." And then me being me, I was like, "Did you want to do something that was casual between us while seeing this person? Because like that's your business, not mine."
Yeah.
And she was like, actually didn't respond for like a week, and then she randomly came back and was like, "I'm down for this." And I was just like, okay, she's on the bullshit, and I was like, I'm down for the bullshit, whatever.
The fuck shit.
And she's just like, okay, cool. Well, this is like my number, whatever. So I texted, and she's like, so just to be explicit, like, what does casual mean? Like, does it mean like we're fuck buddies? Does it mean we're friends with benefits? Does it mean we're casually getting coffee?
What's the difference between fuck buddies and friends with benefits?
That's what I told her. She's like, well, fuck buddies, like, the primary thing is fucking. And then she's like, friends with benefits, like, you're friends, but you're also can fuck. Is
a little more intimate.
Yeah, and this person was like 4 or 5 years older than me or whatever. Okay. So, like, and I met women who are older than me, and they're usually like very direct. So I was like, okay, cool. They understand what they want. I'm good at just doing what someone says when like they say what they want. And she's like, okay, well, because this is casual, you wouldn't mind if I'm very direct with some questions. Yeah, and then she was just like, give me like a list of like 10 questions. It was just like, so when's the last time you had a sexual partner? How many sexual partners you have right now? What's your dick size? What's your preferred time for like sex? Have any kinks? So how the story went and kind of how it got kind of bizarre is like, so like I was like, cool. I answered all her questions, and then I asked my own question. It was like pretty direct. And she was like, well, let's meet up. We met up at a bar. Very low key, very direct. And then
What happened? This was after you answered all her questions, right?
Huh?
This was after you answered all her questions? Yeah, this is after
we met up in person.
So you answered all her questions.
Answer all her questions. I guess the thing is like, so essentially post meeting at the bar, I'll just say vague about it. It was more than she expected when we end up like doing whatever. And then like she just became like very obsessed about that specific, like those specific like things, and like would leave me like voice notes, like very like detailed, aggressive voice notes on things.
About? You can't specify?
About my dick size.
Oh my God.
And I was just like, cool. And at first like it was like kind of humorous, whatever, but it was like compulsive, like very like aggressive, like detailed things. Yeah. And, like whatever. And then like, and like, the thing I kept communicating the fact is like, I wasn't particularly trying to find a relationship because he's older than me. So I was like, okay, cool. And then like after like the second time, it was leading to like the third time. And she's just on some like, well, just let you know that like for me, if I keep having sex with someone, I just become like very emotionally like attached. And I just like,
oh my God. Now you gonna tell me.
And then I was just like, well, as I stated before, that's not what I'm particularly looking for now, but I understand that. But I also like you as
But
like
you made that clear already.
Yeah. But I'm just a nice person. So I would just like over explain. I was like, yo, because I like you, I still like think you're a nice person. And then like, cause we were supposed to meet up for like a third time. And I was like, but I don't think we need to hook up again. because it's clearly that we have different expectations.
Yeah.
And she
not gonna help the situation.
She left me a voicemail that was just like, hey, first of all, I want this dick, and don't play with me. If you play with me, do not cut me off the legs. We can be friends, or we can not fucking be friends, and yada yada yada. But what you won't do is play with me.
Damn.
Yeah, and I was just like, this is a bit aggressive. This is a bit aggressive. This is a bit aggressive. I was like, this is going to red flag territory.
Yeah, I mean, because like obviously for her, she's like, I want the dick, and you're like, I told you what it's not and what it is. Yeah. But like you're very demanding, so obviously like you're probably still gonna want to like meet up. Yeah, which is gonna violate her once, but that's her fault at that point. Yeah, and the thing you were clear. That's not your fault. Clear.
But what I've learned, even when you're clear, sometimes you have to make the decision to like pump the brakes and like.
Oh yeah, if you don't want to deal with the craziness, because you never know how fucking crazy they're gonna be.
Yeah, but the thing is like going back to what we were talking about earlier, while hinting at when someone would just tell you whatever you want to hear to get their foot in the door. Yep. It just kept becoming things where like they would tell me whatever I wanted to hear, but oh no, I don't care about that. It's okay, blah blah blah. And then once I got in there, it'd be like, I have all these expectations now.
Yeah, that happens a lot. I think a lot of times people try to go into something believing, like they truly believe that they want one thing, but you know, whatever is the nature of who you are is gonna fucking hop out at the end of the day. You can't deny it, okay? If you are a habitual monogamist,
you know what?
This is gonna happen.
What really sucked about this whole thing, it had nothing even to like do with the sex aspect of it. It was just because like she was just very funny and had a phenomenal like voice, like a talking voice. And I just loved talking to her because she was just funny. And now like literally I was just like, yo, we don't have to have sex anymore. It's cool.
But she wanted to see.
She was like she was like, absolutely not. She was like, absolutely
it's
not.
It's pretty clear what she wanted.
Absolutely not, sir.
Damn. Yeah, and some people have trouble.
Because literally, I was like, I don't know how I asked my friends, like, how do I handle?
Yeah, because it's one thing to set boundaries, like, for other people in your life, but setting boundaries for yourself and, like, actually putting the foot down and, like, being loyal to what you said you were going to do to yourself is different. It's a little bit easier to let yourself down than it is to let down or, like, change what you said for other people, I think.
Yeah.
So
it was definitely a learning lesson about, one, dealing with people through apps, two, dealing with like expectations, but also three, like making the decisions for yourself to set those boundaries, even if they're not setting it and they like say other things. So yeah,
just people in general, because you just never fucking know. So it doesn't matter what app it is, just be careful and just be loyal to your own boundaries and know what you want.
Sometimes Hinge can be off the hinge.
Yes, that's a good one. Hinge probably doesn't want to sponsor that, but maybe Tinder.
Maybe Tinder.
Bumble.
Yeah, that was wild. It came out of Hinge. Hinge is supposed to be the place where people are coming to like find lifelong partners.
But they're off the hinge.
But man.
Be careful. Be careful, everyone.
Be careful out here. And when people are being super direct, just know. Anyway.
All right. Well, that is almost about a wrap for this episode. Thank you so much, Young Student Loans, for coming through. I know last time you came on, you had mentioned that you were going to drop a project for the summer.
Yeah.
It is about that time. What's going on?
It's about that time. New album by Young Student Loans, King of the Low Key, coming out August 2021, which is next month. I'm super excited about it. Super excited about all the production stuff, all the stories to tell.
King of the Low Key. I remember you mentioned there were some summer bops on there. So
yes, lots of summer bops. A lot of things that take you back through quarantine.
Yes, we all want to remember quarantine.
We all want to remember the quarantine.
We all been through it at least, all right?
Yeah.
So, we need some songs to remind us and reminisce. It's good to like go back to these things. Yes. I just want to give a shout out to Wild 7 Studios for hosting Simpin After Dark every week. I just got back here, so every week starting today and next week for the rest of season 4. I'm so excited to be back. Go listen to the Father's Day episode. Go listen to seasons 1 through 3. If you are new here, thank you so much to all the new listeners. Thank you, Young Student Loans, for being here again. And then real quick, go follow Nightshade Collective on Instagram to see what I have been up to, why I have been on a hiatus. We're working on Amigas, which is a Spanish telenovela parody. Yeah. It's fucking funny. I'm so excited. Go listen to The Words of Alex Rogers, and the Wild 7 podcast if you are a fan of this podcast. Yeah. Anything you gotta say?
I had a great time. Thank you always, Wild 7 Studios. Thank you, Simpin After Dark. Thank you, Ash. All the vibes. Young Student Loans, here to support, here and forever. Always got you, girl.
Yes, good times always.
Good times.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.
You're listening to the Wild 7 Podcast Network. Listen different.